My name is Joey Nieves, and I'm the director of homeless outreach at the Lord's Place. We're based in West Palm Beach, Florida, and we conduct outreach in Palm Beach County. So I'm going to touch on a few different things today. One being my own lived experience and my personal journey, and then the importance of lived experience when conducting street engagement. And I'm going to talk about how my program is structured as well. Every time I get a chance to speak about lived experience, it's what I love. Peer advocacy is my passion, and it's something that I wake up every day grateful to be able to do and to conduct homeless outreach in the community to help those that were in similar situations as myself. But at the same time, sometimes when I share my story, I get a little bit of sadness because I have to relive those times. I've hurt a lot of people throughout my journey. So if I pause at any point, bear with me, because I've just been trying to collect myself. So I'm going to tell a story about my own personal journey. That's how I'm going to begin this talk. So I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, not the greatest area. I had a loving family. I didn't have a dysfunctional family. My father worked. He was a welder. He owned many properties in Cleveland, Ohio. He made a decent living. And he got us out of a very low income area and moved us into a better area when I was about 12 or 13 years old. But me being the child that I was curious. So I always rode my bicycle back to my old neighborhood. So he wasn't home much. He worked 2 jobs. Mom did the best she could. I had 3 brothers and a sister. She just couldn't keep as good of an eye on me as she wanted to. So by the age of 13, I was just very uncomfortable, anxious. I always felt like I didn't fit in anywhere that I was at. And at the age of 13, I went to a friend of mine's house named James, and we drank some beer. First time in my life that I drank beer. And I got drunk, and I loved it because I actually felt like I was okay to talk to other people and socialize, and I didn't feel that ick under my skin. So moving forward from there, it was an everyday occurrence then, because the feeling that gave me was something that I was like, man, I really loved this, right? So it was fun for about a year, but quickly consequences came because I was highly intoxicated throughout my full teens. At the age of 15, I committed a crime and I entered into the juvenile justice system. So that traumatized me in itself to be 15 years old and I was in the juvenile justice system and I was doing the best that I could, but nobody understood those feelings, you know what I mean, that I was going through. So from then, I ended up juvenile justice system, rehabs, a pain and a struggle, and I just destroyed every meaningful relationship in my life. My parents were arguing all the time. My brothers and my sister didn't like to be around me because I was just a bad person at that time of my life. I wasn't necessarily a bad person. I was a victim of my circumstance. And then I ran into some guys in the neighborhood that showed me what I thought was love. So after that, now I'm with these guys that were hanging out. And every day I'm like, man, these guys love me. I have purpose now. But little did I know they were guiding me in the wrong direction. By them guiding me in the right direction, I became the person that started to guide others down into the darkness as well, right? So now I'm the one that's guiding others down into the darkness. So that ended me up homeless in my car. I was 19 years old. Then I was homeless in my vehicle. And father would not let me live there because I was just too much to deal with. They tried, they did the best they could. I was like a wrecking ball of destruction every day, no matter what. It was just me. I was a taker. And I wanted to take anything I could, and I didn't have an altruistic bone in my body at that time. Why? So I'm in a park, Edgewater Park in Cleveland, Ohio. And I was sleeping in an Oldsmobile Intrigue that my father had given me. And there was a man that would come and knock on my window. He would knock on my window and say, hey, how you doing today? And I would cuss him out. I would say, why are you knocking on my window? Leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep. And every week on Saturday, he would come back and knock on my window again, you know what I mean, like this. And I'm like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? Why do you keep knocking on my window? He said, what can I do to prove to you that I'm here to really help you, that I care about you? So I gave them this like grandiose thing. I said, Morton Steakhouse, downtown Cleveland. I want a steak and I want lobster mashed potatoes. That's what I want. If you bring that, then we can talk, right? I'm like, this dude ain't coming back. That's like expensive. So 2 weeks later, he didn't come the next week. I said, see, I knew nobody cared about me. So the second week he comes back and he needs winged God. He has the same thing I've ever had. And I'm super excited about it, right? And after that, it was just like I knew somebody cared about me. And that was like a turning point. What? Not to say that I got sober after that. My addiction still continued for 11 years after that. But he planted the seed in my head so that I could know that people care about me. And that's very important. The work that I do with my team is to plant those seeds. And you might not be the one that gets to water that seed and see the fruits from it. But if you plant that seed in somebody's head, and I still talk to Mr. Witt to this day, because he's the one that showed me that I had a little bit of hope that people actually care about me. Like a bottom of the barrel drug addict that lived in a car in a park. And he took the time every week to come and knock on my door. So it's because of that that my entire team and I are comprised of lived experience. I'm the director, yes, and I wanted to talk about my journey to bring me to where I'm at today. So I started out at the Lord's Place, having never done any type of street engagement. I had never been in any type of service work in my life. And it was offered to me. They told me how much money I was going to be making. And I said, oh, hell no, not doing it. They were only paying me a very minimal amount of money at that time because it was like a new program. The funding wasn't there. So I did it because my mother told me, you know, she said, ever since you were a little kid, when you were like 5, like if someone asked you, you know, like, what do you want to be when you grow up, Billy? Me, I would just tell my mom, she's telling me this, I already done this. I'd say, I just want to help you. And then, you know what I mean? So that's always what I wanted to do. I just never was in a situation to do so because of my addiction and my incarceration. So from the age of 21 to 29, I was incarcerated for like 7.5 years. I only was free for a few years out of my 40s as well. So that was traumatic in itself. That's why I only hired those with lived experience for my team, because if you're led by a peer and your entire team has lived experience and their peers as well, the way that we conduct street engagement is just different. The way that we connect with those people that are out on the street is a different way of connecting. One of these papers is a lot great. It's like, to me, it's connecting with the feelings that those that we serve are going through. That what they feel, that can't be taught. You can't teach somebody lived experience. You could teach a peer to case manage, and that's proven because my entire team is peers. We do light case management. We're working with people that are on the street. We do light case management. You can teach that to a peer, but you can't teach lived experience to somebody. You can't say, all right, we're going to sign you up for Palm Beach State University. They're going to lived experience course. We're going to teach you what it feels like to be hopeless and to not want to continue on. See, peers, we know that feeling. We know all those feelings that those that we serve are going through. The feeling of having $20 and you panhandling for it. And you're like, I got $20, I'm starving. We eat it 2 days. I probably should get some food. But no, the delusional way of thinking, I need to get my fix first. I'll deal with trying to find some food later on. That feeling, that can't be told. The feeling of having your freedom taken away from you, all the comforts of the world. And you're sitting in a cell and you're wondering like, man, am I ever going to be somebody? Am I ever going to get out of this way of life? Do I ever want to continue on? Those feelings, peers, we know that. Can't be taught. It's just not something you could teach. So my street engagement team covers 50% of the geographic area of Palm Beach County. We have service areas, so it's split up between cities. And then the county's outreach team and another organization called Vicar's House cover the other 50%. And last year alone, we served 600 unsheltered homeless. And out of those 600, 350 were exited to some type of housing. So that's about a 70% list. And it's my team is comprised of 12 peers, including myself. When we have a full staff, it's 12. So the way that they connect with people is just a beautiful symphony. They use their lived experience as a tool and not as like a traumatic situation like it would. And when every chance that they get, they connect with clients that they serve on the street, because we don't see the current situation. We try to encourage those that are going through unsheltered homelessness and try to encourage them to be self-sufficient and try to empower them to continue on. Doesn't matter what you did. Bro, it's unmattering. If you go from today forward, I'll walk side by side with you. I will walk side by side with you. But self-sufficiency and encouraging them to an individual that's experiencing unsheltered homelessness, that's the greatest gift you can give them. Because what happens after you get them in the housing, get everything for them along that road? What happens when you're not there? They might not make it because you didn't show them how to be self-sufficient. You didn't show them how to budget. You didn't do financial literacy. These are things that some people don't even know how to do laundry, but their pride gets in the way. It's like, hey man, you don't know how to do laundry at that. Sure, do this to me. So those are the things that peers understand, I think, that makes us connect. And the way to have a successful street engagement program, if you're going to go the lived experience route, which I suggest everybody does in every county in the nation because it works, and peers put in extra work, they come in early, and we don't expect anything in return because we're of service. It's not about our job. It's just being of service to others. So the thing about a program that's led, you got a street engagement team that's all people with lived experience, but then you have the director that doesn't have lived experience. They're not a peer. That doesn't work. That's why my program works, is because I have lived experience myself, and I create a safe space for my employees where peers have to do certain things. If you're in recovery from alcohol and drugs, if you're a returning citizen from incarceration, if you're a survivor of this violence, if you're trafficking, then you have to have that safe space with someone who understands that will say, hey man, you're not having a good day today, go ahead. I'm going to see if I can find you some resources to help you. Just someone that can be approachable and that they understand is like lived experience. Joey's been there and he's done that. He's done the same job that I do each and every day too as well. So I just want to encourage everybody to be kind and be compassionate and remember to see past the current situation somebody's in. You have to see the greatness in every individual and encourage them. Every day I strive to be like Mr. Wick and believe the change is possible. I will close with this. It's not enough to love humanity as a whole. You have to love the individual sitting before you right now in the moment. Most of all, I encourage you to be the knock on the window. Thank you, everybody.